think that's the same kind of story mirrored for VKS, right? A team that no one expected to kind of come in and smash some of the top teams out of the LTA North, right? So for VKS, this is a squad that I am very excited to see. Seal saying, hey, give me 2 years and I will have a title for this squad, and he's shown it. And now, as they take to the main stage, we're going to see the bans already starting to come with Nico LeBlanc already taken away by Team Secret Wales.
Now let's recap a little bit as well, because we do have a best of 5 to lean on from yesterday. We saw a lot of Azir bans, actually 4 out of the, unfortunately, 4 of IG games. Bard also perma-banned throughout that series. Today we get the Orianna ban, a reflection yesterday that we saw but eventually let through. And remember, the dynamics change in best of 1, because within best of 1, it's like best draft now, get yourself on the board and get yourself an advantage early in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, I'm curious now what the priority is, because obviously as you start to come through, you get different draft bubbles that can influence the way you go. But when you look at the LCP, they had much higher priority on things like the Nico, the Aurora as well, and now we're starting to see that come through here.
It does feel very, very different. The Aurora gets locked in, okay. But for VKS, do they just lock in something like the Azir themselves, get something that globally we've seen still to be super strong? Bard, again, I mentioned Kai'Sa was perma-banned, but that might be more towards Gala. I do love, however, that Team Secret Wales there, just the go and get it team. So Eddie, he's a big fan of that pick. Might be something that they rotate as well as the Jarvan gets locked in first.
Yeah, and Disarm's had some great performances in playoffs on this pick, so not surprised to see them go towards that, and sets up then very easily to be flexible, right? You've got your engage tool, you've got this aggressive jungler who can try and babysit your early game, and then I think you can open up for picks like the Azir. You can try and go for more of these aggressive supports if you really want to, but honestly, I think going for this mid lane pick makes a lot of sense to round out a strong mid jungler.
Okay, well, support looked at first. Okay. For Trimby, I remember when he was in the EU, he loved this pick, and no shy away from it in the current meta, as Team Secret Wales now need to match the Jarvan. The biggest question is with what? We've seen a lot of Xin Zhao. We know Pantheon's open with a little bit of buffs in the recent patch, but Fi just insta-locked.
I was going to say, Team Secret Wales also played a lot of Lee Sin into the Jarvan domestically, but opting towards the Vi instead, especially when you've got the Aurora. This is going to be a dive-heavy composition, so I am curious what they want to try and take into mid lane to pair with this. Could be an Ahri, potentially for a Dire here, just to try and set up, and well, Kai'Sa as well for that dive.
Do you remember you and I were talking to Molecule? Actually, a lot of us were. And he was like, this team really likes dive. Huh, what are we building so far, Dagda? Let's have a look. Like, we are just sending it again in Team Secret Wales fashion.
Yeah, and also I think Eddie has been spectacular for the squad as well in team fights. So getting him on something that enables him to have that agency to follow up with his toes engages is going to be on the minds of VKS as they start to round out this draft, with Rise now picked up for that mid lane, maybe opting to go a bit more towards that 1-3-1 and see if they can avoid some of this heavy dive from Team Secret Wales.
The strongest player as well. I like seeing a scaling carry. And as you said, side lane super important in this game, seems to be for VKS. Now, the bans are in question because we have no mid lane potentially. I mean, that Aurora could also go mid, but with the Rise already picked up, maybe that option's off the table. Support's getting taken away. Dagda, maybe to get the prior on that, something, give the Rakan a bit more of an edge in lane. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just also Nautilus Kai'Sa is such a strong duo for a long time. The ultimate enables the Kai'Sa to work so well. So I think it'll be, get rid of the Nautilus, maybe get rid of something like an Alistar that can follow through, or a Rel, and then set up for removing some of that follow-up engagement, as you said, for the dive. But overall, Team Secret Wales, it's draft 1. There are a ton of picks that can facilitate this dive, like Leona, Alistar, Rel, that are all still up and available. It's just going to take your pick of the litter. So on Team Secret Wales side, their option is to go for, hey, what are the self-healing AD carries? Let's get rid of the Xayah. Could be an Ezreal here to follow as well, and just make sure that we can have targets that we can try and focus on.
To make the Vi a little bit annoying and can space a little bit as well. I like the Ezreal mention.
Sivir could also be a ban here.
Yeah, I mean, that I put that as most picked over on my Lolly Sports pick'ems.
Yeah, talking about it yesterday.
I did, because yesterday I felt pretty good about it, I will say. The best of ones, let's see if that same priority's there. As you said, Ezreal could be next, as we did get another dive Eddie carry. Dagda's on it. This is why you pay them big bucks, ladies and gentlemen. He's also Irish, if that appeals to anyone out there. Now, let's go forward. 80 carry, important, you talked about it. What's left in the pool? That Ezreal was a good mention. Is there anything else you want to throw in?
Yeah, I think the pool is still very open for AD carries, because even though you do have a lot of dive, oftentimes with the safety that you have coming through from the Jarvan and the charm that can come through from the Rakan, oftentimes it still opens you up for taking some of these immobile carries and just saying we're going to be okay, but looks like it will be the Corki. Still, same idea, right?
Mobility,
You've got the mobility coming through with the Valkyrie, so okay, no, going to go with the Unar instead, so just saying, hey, look, we want this hyper-scaling carry that we can try and have at least some dash with the ultimate and the E, but still very strong. And especially if there's going to be a lot of people linked up or in very short range of each other, thanks to that dive, she can excel.
As well, gets a bit of mobility, added mobility, I should say, rather than just a runaway with a dash in Transcendence. That rel we talked about earlier, that's added engage, and good synergy here with the Kai'Sa too. And Dagda, I mean, maybe layering here as it looks like the Aurora could be a mid lane option. Could also be Renekton mid, I'm just going to throw that in there. I mean,
the thing is, though, if you go with the Renekton, it opens up VKS to take the Cassante. Cassante, when he gets Iceborne and also the Bramble Vest, starts to win out in this matchup.
Yeah.
And then, not only do you provide a frontline tank and really good peel for this Yunara in a team fight, you're also then going to be able to win out on a side lane, which works with the Ryze as well. So, if I'm VKS here, I probably look towards the Cassante, but we'll have to see if they agree.
Let's hold up. Cassante, you're right, is a good option. But in the best of one, you can try and blast out of the wall. The Gnar is a good matchup. Outrange, space him well. It's really annoying when you see a good Gnar up against a Renekton. There's not much you can do within the lane, and
great synergy as well when you look towards the Carbon Bus.
There it is,
the Cassante. Yeah, again, he's just such a good matchup. You will struggle in the early stages. You go for that early Bramble Vest, start to build up in towards that Iceborne Gauntlet, and once you have that item and a half, you are in such a good position against this Renekton. So it now is, does Histo try and put effort into that top side to try and stave off how strong this Cassante is going to be in the later portions of the game, or do you try and put this focus down towards your mid and your bot lane, which is where your real damage dealers are going to be?
Very well said. I think especially since for VKS, I mean, we have a bit of scaling added in here. We have a nice bit of front to back too. It feels like there's a lot of engage tools, a lot of layering, and it doesn't feel like this is a very hard comp to pilot for your first game of Worlds 25. I look at Team Secret Wales and I see their identity again. I see dive, I see the ability to start fights, big skirmishes. Dagda, I think both teams have gone with what they know for comfort, which is really, really important when they're trying to get that first win on the board.
Yeah, and I think, again, when you look across at VKS, they've been very good at finding these moments where, one, they can overload a side lane, but two, where they can also, say you invest moments in towards the dragon. You're like, hey, we want to take this, but you end up peeling off that little bit early. VKS are very good at finding these moments where they go, actually, we can take these fights even though it doesn't look like we can. And I think this is where, for Team Secret Wales, they're going to have to find these ways to try and shut that pressure down and play towards their own strengths, which are this brutal, we're going to fight, we're going to find these picks, we're going to constantly keep this pressure up. And we'll have to see if VKS can try and thwart that.
Well, up to them, because again, they've shown patience and vigilance getting towards the first ever and the last ever LTA finals. Team Secret Wales, they fought the odds to get to their own finals in the LCP as well. Welcome to Worlds 2025. It's a pleasure to be beside you as myself and Dagda start off your day one of Swiss. I think today is really going to decide a lot of the meta, a lot of, you know, what we saw reflected in IG T1 yesterday. But from a wide dynamic of teams, we get to see all 16 teams today, Dagda. It's a huge day to kick us off.
Yeah, I think as well, it's, as Histo getting pushed back a little bit here, I think it will very much change as we start to progress through the tournament. I think that's one of my favorite parts of Worlds, is you kind of get to see these little like pockets of what different teams have been playing in scrims against each other.
Yeah.
And then you get this clash of, does it actually work? Like, I remember a few years ago we had the Amumu support that was throughout all of play-ins and looked like it was going to be a staple of groups, but never really followed through, as VKS now starting to get their vision in and make sure they can spot out exactly what Team Secret Wales are up to.
Vertical jungle style, he goes in blind and he has to flash away immediately, naturally, but Taki's still here. With a remount, there's a lot more danger as Dyer comes in. He gets a bit of burst damage off, looking for the electrocute. Trimby looking for the re-engage as well. Morteus is just spreading the love for the flash, the reignite, the setup. Morteus in trouble, flash away. VKS running for their lives as First Blood's given over with a heal and the invade turning south. VKS are throwing away the game before it's even begun.
And this is a best of one. VKS tried to go for the invade. We've now given 2 kills across to Team Secret Wales, and that is the perfect start for this squad.
The perfect start for us enjoying an international event. Histo's going to see Trimby walking towards him, close to the smite range. Doesn't get knocked up, level 2 acquire, but Miru's on the way in. A Vault Breaker to be blocked away, and he's going to get Trimby. In the end, Trimby finds this easily. The auto from Miru, there's something back, and a blue buff for Ryze. So it's not all bad news.
Yeah, massive pick up there for Miru in this mid lane. The fact that he's able to actually get a kill back, as you say, because has to match Dyer and Eddie, who are able to pick up those first couple of kills. and the blue buff will make it very potent in this mid lane. I'm curious now exactly what the pathing is going to be from Tisamas, though, if he wants to try and change up his jungle pathing. But honestly, you know, with the push in mid, maybe he could make something happen, but Renekton has full control on top, so invades might be a little difficult.
It's a quick little replay, because VKS are backing off here, Dagger.
Yeah, at this stage, I think you've just gone too deep. Miru isn't in a position to try and follow up, and you don't really have the setup. It's only the auto-attack assist from Tisamas that's coming through, which does help Mortez. Because he has this Yunari, he can stack up those balls very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he just gets focused down. A great flash from Taki, and they set it up with Trimby taken very low on the bottom side.
Yeah, there's a lot of danger coming from this rel. As you said, so far it's been really good. Die, meanwhile, though, a little bit low. Room prison under turret. Miru! That blue buff is getting put to work.
Miru making it happen in the mid lane. This was the big pickup that we saw for the VKS side that made all the difference. Every team that Miru's come into has looked spectacular, and one of the main reasons why they're able to get that win in the LTA South.
He's a highlight of the VKS. People are saying this is the best LTA South mid lane, and some people are saying one of the best LTA mid laners. That goes a stretch, but hey, performing as a 2-0 rise here in the early game, he's really recovered that early game fumble from VKS, and his two you can see as well, even in CS with the Jarvan, who had to burn his flash, who died early. Tisamas must be thanking the life out of this Korean mid laner right now.
Yeah, it just makes it so simple now, as you say, for Tisamas, because you've got full control over mid. You've now got the options to go into your bottom side of the map, but Taki wants to take a quick visit. There's the slow.
The burst is good, as you said, but Miru sidesteps one, not the other. Shattering Strike not connecting means he just walks it out.
Yeah, the Shattering Strike sidestep was clutch there from Miru. Make sure that he doesn't end up getting locked down for longer, but Trimby now going to start to make his way in towards the mid lane, and again, you can see both these squads trying desperately to get any sort of control over this early stages, but despite the early fumble, VKS have done a good job of bringing it back with Miru in this mid lane.
Does make sense with a quick lane swap mention here that Eddie is going solo here into Boal, and Boa did teleport down, but he's not in a bad spot actually. Gets to slow down with a Natofo strike. Level 5 on this Cassante. Eddie's still level 3.
And barrier burnt by Eddie as well, so Eddie definitely feeling a little bit worse for wear after that one.
Maybe I'll take it back, yeah.
And Mortez now, we're going to have Trimby up on this top side, which makes it, like, if Renekton can close the distance onto this Yunara, or even honestly onto Trimby, can kill, but...
Like that. Enhanced Rain of Anger sent down. The damage is good. Morteus in trouble as well. Healed up and barrier. The slow's good onto Taki in a return, but that is a win for TSW.
Yeah, I think they're trying to play for seeing if Hero, like this wave is pushing into him. He should hit 6, I believe, off this wave as well. Sorry, it's pushing away from off this next wave. But I think that's where you could maybe look for a dive as Team Seeker well. So I'm curious exactly what the pathing is going to be for his toe. Does he just do his Wolves here into Gromp and then into an immediate topside play?
Damage down at the very least. Let's look at the top. As you said, Hero is close to level 6. Shattering Strike just out of range. And that pathing is taking Tisamas down towards bot. There are pings going down saying that, hey, look, this Jarvan is towards the bottom of the map right now. It's a little bit early, but the trajectory is right as the Dragon could be the call, or maybe a deep ward here to set up for that earlier invade that failed.
Yeah, it looks like Tisamas just going to try and go for the Dragon, as you're getting the reset from the Kai'Sa on the bottom side of the map. Eddie not wanting to be in this position anymore. So that's going to be the Team Seeker Wells, though, moving across to try and answer, at least get some vision down, potentially here.
For VKS, getting this Dragon again would be a lot more respite in the early game, as Histo is going to peek his way in. Hero sees Rakan. Trimby just sits in the bush, can't do too much. Wave it a bit of a standstill for now, as even Boal comes to help out. Histo's still thinking about it, but it does feel like this Dragon is a foregone conclusion. There's nothing to gain apart from your Raptors, and first strike of the game goes to VKS.
Miru even able to get back across for this wave. So honestly, the VKS are doing well when it comes towards like having that pressure on the bottom side and understanding when they can go for these timing windows. But for Team Seeker Wales, they're just a little bit late to the punch. They're trying to find plays. Like you look towards that top side where they're looking, hey, we've got good damage onto Morteus. Can we look for a dive? But it's kind of fallen apart. And again, looking now towards this mid lane, it feels like Otaki. But VKS just aren't letting them find that value from the aggression.
Now that Eddie's mid as well. It's like there's a favorable lane just holding Miru at bay. There's still a 500 gold lead between 80 carries right now, and that's simply because Eddie got the earlier kill, but it's maintained the CS advantage even in that small lane swap. And note too that Hero, because of that roam up from Taki, because of that pairing, it seems with pushing out the bottom lane of VKS, Team Secret Wales, their top lane is in a good spot as well. So the only one really suffering right now, or should I say succeeding, is Miru on this rise, who's able to pick up a couple of kills. It's all right. Let's hold on that. Shattering Strike, Trimby goes in, goes out. Not much more found. Taki's just absorbing the damage as Wave gets pushed in, and this will help with the invade in topside. In the meantime, as Dire into this matchup, look, it ain't too great. All out going to be popped. Dire is just going to send into another world, and that's okay. For now, though, the weirding as well sent out. Just waiting to see if Boal gets bursted down, but not enough damage in the end, and both ult are now burned.
Would have been a nice trade from Boal, but taking those double terror shots really end up hurting him, and now with the range advantage, Dire can try and play for that passive damage as soon as I think his electrocute should be back up shortly. And you got Miro on the way. This is looking like a dive.
Tries to clear again. The weeding comes out just to try and get that wave down. TP needs to come through though, because Dire has no mana, and so Taki's there to support.
Yeah, it does mean, it's only to support TP, but it does mean now you've got two people on this bottom side. So do VKS try and contest now on towards the Void Group's take?
Nice stop onto Boal, by the way. Taki on our right side. Boal was just backing egregiously on a control ward, so his tempo's slowed down a little bit. But triple grub, you don't often say, is easily going to be taken here by Secret Whales.
Yeah, I think VKS wanted to contest, but as you say, the interrupt, now Trimby should be able to just dash away, but the interrupt onto Boal means he can't TP up into the play, so immediately VKS have to back off. So at least Team Secret Whales getting some of the objectives back in this top side to match for the early dragon taken by VKS.
Going all back to the 1v2. Let's see where we go from there. Dragons in 2 minutes 30, by the way, so any bot lane play's not going to open anything, but a Realm Warp will. Dire goes into Fog of War for a little bit, but an easy flag and drag. Wait for the Rune Prison, he won't go anywhere. Cataclysm down, and a third kill, no, this time given over to the Jarvan. Desamus is on the board.
Nice job by Desamus, managing to get in behind there and make sure there was no way that he could escape. And now Orteas on this top side as well. You see Taki is trying to match on the top end, but the flash.
Oh, in a 1v2. Hang on, Hero jumping in. Trimby doesn't get the stun. The flash away now burned as Trimby's just out of the play. Orteas has to burn his own. Taki came in with a Shattering Strike and narrowly misses, but that's double summoner. Make it triple. As VKS aren't out of the woods yet.
Keep your eye on the Void Missile. Can Eddie land this?
Eddie, no, not finding a target, but Hero's now here. The Empowered W easily done. Morteus next up, second skin. A double kill over to the Croc, and crikey, damn! VKS are now in more trouble because Boal is committed to this play. He gets popped back, sent out, the all-out use over the wall, and a turret shot added in! Boal, that was beautiful! The setup with the flag and drag as the play continues, and Eddie now in new bits of trouble. He's got no mana to press the E button, and he'll die too. VKS are bringing the fire with the return.
VKS respond well. They TP in with the rise to the top side, so Miru can help out, and Boal ripping the Renekton out from the rest of his team. And again, we're seeing, this is what we're talking about, VKS wanting to constantly overload these side lanes, constantly trying to play with this nice little tempo advantage, and they catch Team Secret Whales as they go for the dive and turn it back around.
Oh, wow, that was just insane. I mean, the timing, I thought he was going to be inting in the 1v3, but he had that all-out backup and available. And again, there's been to and fro, especially with how the game started. We had a bit of consistency as this Cassante doing work. Dire just going to space it out, not in too much trouble with a good mana bar, I should say. Dire, as he just walks back and might base it out. I'm sure he's going to get some deep vision. Top might be the next play, depending on if they can clear some of this vision as well. I will say, they've set up some defensive lines, Dagda. Good control wards. The Tribby's now going to start clearing out, but they're giving Top a bit of prio for Hero.
Yeah, I think they're just going to try and reset and look for the Dragon in 15 seconds, but I mean, nice collapse from Team Secret Whales. You can see Miru immediately TP to the top side to get on towards the board to come through. You've got the Jarvan who's running towards this top side, and Team Secret Whales on the wrong side of town. And also Boal, like, the early armor that he has makes him just unkillable in this situation. Gets the flick back, or flash forward into the rip through under the tower, the turret shot as well. And at this stage, it's all hands on deck for VKS to take out Team Secret Whales.
I feel like teams that want to play slow, but you know, they just play the other side of the map, really fail against Team Secret Whales. But for VKS, who've had such an insane run this year, and had an insane run versus 100 Thieves, I'm sorry, NA fans, I don't care. 100 Thieves got beaten by this team, and it was actually quite solid. The production team are looking at me very unfavorably. I have to get off to the stage at some point. But when Miru came in, what life and what blood added into this roster. With this guy, I remember casting me to Mia Masters, the talent is there, and in this game, it's no exception. He's been set up for success. But now the rest of VKS are empowered somehow. All out, speaking of empowerment, but the true damage doesn't hit through. There's Natofos unable to catch up, and Hero just walks out.
Still though, you can see Boal is being himself in this game, and he has played spectacularly. Like, he's had a great showing here against the Aurora when he's been in the 1v1, getting that kill now as well for himself. And Hero has also been doing a really nice job when it comes towards matching Morteus and finding that success. But once Boal ends up finishing off this Iceborne Gauntlet, this matchup becomes very, very difficult for him to play. So it kind of feels like that ticking time is starting to slip in favor of the VKS top laner.
And again, like I said before, it does feel like teams that can't be patient or like play to the game of Team Secret Wales. But this time it does feel like, again, matching their pace, matching the plays. It has been a really, really nice comeback, and a bit of glazing deserved here for VKS as we crest towards the 14-minute mark.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that it's Taki who's struggling to keep up.
Yeah.
As he's entering mid, Trimby's already gone out, set up all those boards, and is now resetting to come back out onto the map again. So you're kind of playing at a disadvantage when it comes to the vision and map game. But you are, as Histo, starting to get some control when it comes to nice timing here for the invade. Looking at a potential play towards Boal on the top side, but I just don't think you can really go for any sort of dives on the Cassante at this stage.
Already. And there's so much armor, right? And for Eddie, I mean, he's only sitting with the Kraken right now, so it's not like outside of Dire there's really much AP damage, and I don't look at Aurora Dagda and say, oh man, that's a lot of consistent DPS. Like, I would see even Enhanced Rise or Victor or an Orianna even. That is slow, that is burst. And even with the Leandries there, I don't think we'll see too much going towards Boal. So I'm excited, Dagda, because it does look like game is still relatively even despite there being some enhanced members. As Histo caught out. Oh, Vault Breaker. It was short, and he has to flash to the Blast Cone. Histo, bit of a whoopsie there, and VKS starting to get good on the punishes.
But this is what I was talking about with Trimby's ward setup. That's what he was looking for, these quick resets, set up the vision, and that means that VKS have full information of when they can look for these picks, when they can try and play off towards these side lanes.
Yep.
And it's going to be on towards Team Secret Wales and Taki as he starts to come back into the map to clear out this vision and make that a little bit more difficult for VKS.
Well, Taki. Okay, game so far, but it's slowed down a little bit. We're just going to see these trades continue on with an Iceborne Gauntlet. I do not favour the Renekton here. And Hero heals up a little bit. Gets the Cold Meek between the wave. And with your Reign of Anger past 50%, the healing is much nicer when there's a minion wave and a champion present. Remember, they combine, they stack, they build up, and it's one of Renekton's main ways to sustain through a lot of the lanes. And as that continues topside, that's a bit of a flop for now. Herald is up though, that's the focus. Morteus sends out some damage, and VKS, they got their eyes on the prize. They're going topside, and TSW have to respond now.
But they have zero vision. They'd have to go in completely blind, and that's not exactly where we want to be, especially as you've got Dire still pushing in this bottom side. Going to TP now, but I don't know if they're going to get in here fast enough before this objective is gone.
Taki has a flash, but he won't be able to engage at half HP. Now he might have to suicide. Already goes forward to reset the Summoner. VKS pulling off it at 3k though, is still now imminent potentially. Histo needs to hit the eye, it's there in front and he's taken it. Vault Breaker in, looking for the engage. Eddie repositions the back of the fight, and Disarmus is down first. Trimby went in, but just to die. While the Renekton was juicy meat, but you can't eat Crocodile today. Instead, try and eat Eddie, who flashes away. Set up from Boal, the all-out, the true damage, waiting for that to come in, because Cassante, no! He goes up, Boal went up, and Eddie went south. Miru sets up, a flash away from Darius. Histo re-engages. Not only did he steal the Herald, but he just stole away LTA South.
The young upstarts are still keeping it going. Finding this play, Trimby ends up hitting the eye at the back of this. I believe it was Trimby, or sorry, Morteus, right as it turns. It meant that then you could get this fight from Histo. Really well done. And the back half of the fight, Hero immediately flashing onto Morteus, takes him so incredibly low, and they get so much work done with Eddie providing that DPS in the back line, just continuously fighting through it. Team Secret Wales, that was beautiful stuff.
And look at Histo just ran at Morteus.
Yeah.
And that guy doesn't do that much damage yet. So the Viker just withstands Sundered's guy, no problem, brother. Good flush from Dire in the end as well, Dagda, and Miru is the last to go down. Double kill over to Histo. The mechanical genius of this newbie, of this jungler everyone's raving about from the LCP region. I see it's not unfound. I do see it. I saw it in the SARS game. I saw it in the games in the lead-up versus PSG and GAM. And once again on the world stage, it's good to see that a rookie can play this well as Dragon spawns.
Yeah, so he's still immediately going to start this up. It doesn't look like we're going to get any sort of contest from VKS. Even you see Trimby starting to shift up towards this top side, but they're not really in a position to cross map either, so looks like VKS just going to watch as this goes down.
Second Dragon, and it's an Infernal Soul as well. Bit of burst on this comp, that feels nice. But I will say a 3.5k gold lead probably feels nicer here as the items that are starting to accumulate, they're serious business. Here's to almost second item here. The Vi jungle that's going to send it in. And when Team Secret Whales get a lead, their dive comp, they're not ones to slow down. They're not ones to pull back. They are not scared, Potter.
Especially when they have the dragon advantage as well, because now you're going to draw VKS into these fights, because they will need in 4.5 minutes to contest for the potential of putting yourself to sole point, and that's where it can get a little difficult. While though is sneaking in behind, and I'm wondering how much they want to try and rest, but with this early Rift Tower going in towards the mid lane, looks like it's just going to be a quick take for Team Secret Whales.
Might be good damage on inner turret as well. Only 2 members, maybe 3 with Disarmer showing up now. Herald going to be mounted. Meanwhile, hang on a minute. Was I wrong? Boal in close of territory of dying out. Send it out again. The Weeding, good damage. Pull back not there. Leandri's helping out. The Rel finds a new turret. Good drifting from Taki. Like I said, Team Secret Whales ain't slowing down. Another turret goes down to the same Herald. 5,000 gold, Dagda. It was only a couple of seconds ago that it was at 3.
I mean, the VCS are picking up the speed here. Yeah, look at the charge.
I mean, it's nice. At 82 HP, Boal, he backed in the bush. He's too low to care.
Yeah, I think he was a little worried about how many members of Team Secret Whales might be around if he didn't reset. But this is what you want for Team Secret Whales. Like, they're playing well. They're setting up around objectives to take the fight and have their dive composition work out. They're coming in from multiple angles. And VKS just don't really feel like they're able to keep pace with them in a lot of this.
It's a really nice entrance for them. They punished that invade. And credit to VKS, I think, you know, they got back on their feet quite nicely with Miru, but this Rise is still a while away. He's only just stacking up the Rod of Ages now. It's not like he's going to burst out anyone. Remember that Aurora almost at 2 items. Dire's caught back up, overtaken in gold. I think the biggest problem now, Dagda, is the fact that Eddie has got that Gumayusi's Rage Blade, that on hit to add to a Cassante and like-minded members. There is a lot of damage coming out of the woodwork. And VKS is about, can they survive? Can the Cassante absorb it all? This is a Vi who's just taken on a support. Trimby's out of there, and that opens up Dire to get the turret by himself.
But look how much vision is in this top half of the map for Secret Whale, right? That's why Histo knows he's free to go for it, because there's no one who's going to just suddenly charge out of him from a rush. So Team Secret Whale's happy to keep this push up, and the fact that you now have Dire in a position where he can go toe-to-toe with Boal, because of course he has gone for this very armor-heavy build and where he wants to match up against Hero, but Dire has been the one that constantly finds the Cassante and is happy to just push in these waves and make it difficult for VKS to actually dictate the map in any sort of meaningful manner.
When did they get to play on their terms? The biggest question. I think at this point, it's a long shot away. Team Secret Whales holding their vision in topside where they could. They've still got some of the deep wards you mentioned, but a lot have been cleared out, which is nice. The VIVO KEYD stars can actually move amongst top a little bit more freely, especially when Atakan's up here. We have seen so many games, even yesterday, IG threw a lot of games at Atakan, right? Because it is an objective that saps away your resistances, but also the damage is quite meaningful. It can't be started up as freely as people think. It's worth about 3,000 gold, and for VKS, if they could find a fight around it, then move to Atakan, that feels like something I need to talk about, you know?
Yeah, I think if VKS can find a fight where they're able to play around that tri-bush just outside of Atakan, that could be their window. Because again, Team Secret Whales want to play for dive. They want to try and get access to backline, but if you're able to set up a nice front to back where you control that area, it's difficult for those members to make any meaningful headway. And that's exactly what the VKS are playing through now. You can see this is where the choke point they want to try and make happen.
Hero is moving towards it though. Boal has been burst out by Dire a little bit. Taki with an engage sets up the Magnustorm. Eddie jumps in. He's been charmed for the time being, but look at the burst as he flashes away. They need to kill the Kai'Sa for VKS. They're getting shredded apart, trying to jump back in, but Eddie survives. A double kicks him up, and Team Secret Whales, they can do this in their sleep.
Hero had a great flank there, which denied Morteus the opportunity to actually get the flank and follow up on the initial play from the rest of VKS. So Eddie doesn't die, and they'll set it up. You'll see it here. As everyone on VKS moves up towards this top side, you end up with the AD carry, this Yunara, completely separated from the squad. So even though you get this engage coming through in the setup, there's just no real damage from the VKS side. And it's Team Secret Whales with Taki finding that engage that's set up perfectly where Eddie can keep this play going. And Morteus just can't do the DPS he needs to.
As much of the mosh pit as he tried to get, Trimby's rubbing his eyes. I mean, this is a really hard game when they've got all the layering there, but it doesn't matter. Eddie, insane reactions to get out. Now 10,000 gold lead.
which is insane. Like, again, Team Secret Wales almost weren't really expected to be here. Heard the analyst desk talk about it. This was the squad that was kind of the upset, the upstarts on taking down GAM. And now they're seen as the new generation coming through from Vietnam to overtake people like Levi, to show that they belong at the top, and so many fans excited to see them on the world stage. And if they could take a win here against the LTA in day one, it will be huge for the LCP and for those Vietnamese fans.
It does feel like, again, you're putting faith in the fact that Team Secret Wales, not only would it be big towards LTA when there's only one done split, right? One done year, excuse me. It does feel like, again, for LCP, a region that is trying to define that they are better than just CFO and that's it. Would give them a lot of hope for the rest of the tournament. Now, let's not be day one Andes, let's just be game one Andes, our only game. Not of these two versing each other. And the game right now is telling me that this game seems near impossible, Dagdos. 9.5k gold lead, Infernal Soul coming up. That's 4.5 minutes. Baron's up in a minute 30. VIVO KEYD Stars need a couple of insane picks fights where they scale into it.
Yeah, I think the issue is the way VKS have won games has almost been the Trimby special. Like, we saw it when he was on Rogue, we saw it when he was on Fnatic. It was, we overload a side lane and we're going to make this quick pick and try and find success through that. But when you're in this situation, it's very difficult to find moments to get into sides, to find picks. You essentially have to start dropping waves and hoping that Team Secret Wales don't punish you as you try and make that overload into one side. But even then, I think you still need like Forteus to hit his Affinity Edge before he really comes online, and you just don't have the raw DPS right now to match what Team Secret Wales are pushing out.
Choke division begins. 45 seconds at Baron. Desamas needs a steal. For Team Secret Wales, just don't flip. And the game should be theirs. Eddie stepping up towards the corner. There's no ward there. VIVO KEYD Stars, but again, they do have a lot of gap close. They have a lot of engage. Eddie not really stepping over the line. He's on a ward for now, but his poke begins, by the way. He's got a Nash's. So there's a bit of a W resetting going on. As if Morteus is the one that gets hit by it, well, goodbye chances of starting a fight. Bolt breaker in. Wrong place, wrong time. Sets up the ulti, the dive. Classic Team Secret Wales. Heroes under turret, taking 2 shots, but it ain't like before. A charm up while Mary starts firing away, but between 2 worlds, sends VKS to the wrong one. It's a trade in the end, a good shutdown, yes, but now mid-turret's exposed. Team Secret Wales have 4 members, and there's only 2 of VKS, as Baron sits there waiting for its victor.
Yeah, Miro and Desamas left just in awe of how quickly Team Secret Wales were able to make that play happen. They catch the AD carry, they finish off a while, and now Baron in their sights. The VKS just look stunned.
Not much to do except for Miro just to try and get this objective bounty on this turret bot, and as Baron gets taken, we'll move to 12k, we'll move close to it. Team Secret Wales are covering this as best they can. Samus is also here, Dye gets over the wall, but Miro is going to take this turret, so shortens the goal a little bit here from the Red Bull Baron power play. But I'm grasping at straws, Dagny, you know?
I was going to say, I think it's only for half a second, man.
Yeah.
The second they step back out onto the rift, Team Secret Wales start to take the Eder tower that's down in bot side, then it's going to be inhibitor turrets, and although you do have like decent wave clear, it's not fantastic against the potential push here from Team Secret Wales.
He's trying to bait it. Eddie does take the bait into Miro there. They were lying in wait. It finally pays off. Eddie's down. The Summers with a shutdown. We go from 11 to 10.
That's a really nice pick from VKS, because now you can see the push was trying to come through from Hero in this mid lane, but not really able to threaten any of these towers. You can't spread out that Baron buff anymore, and with only 2 minutes left on it, it looks like the base won't get cracked. That is a massive pick for VKS.
It is really nice. The Baron play halted and stopped. Game ain't over till the Nexus falls. I come from Europe. This is something we know well. I'm sure the North Americans know that as well. Anyone who's probably not LCK or LPL has been drilled.
I was going to say, even in the LPL a little bit.
I mean, actually, very true. Very, very true. I know LCK's had their fair share as well. We could go and mention teams like DK, but I think they've been hurt enough. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to kick a horse while it's down, do we? Speaking of horses, it's over. Yeah, he galloped into this. Now, Histo's going to get out, but he did flash, and there are small things accruing for VIVO KEYD Stars, Actor. Small things.
Yeah, we kind of cast a curse to Red Bull Baron power play because you can see in the top left it is not looking as hot.
Gold when you actually pick it up, isn't it? Right. With this turret, it will go back up. But still, it is a very minimal Baron that is not even breaking into the base, as you'd expect when you're like 12,000 gold up.
Yeah, like, it's just been little mistakes from Team Secret Wales.
It has.
Like, now, they will still get stolen. They are still in a very strong spot. But again, we were kind of saying, like, 3 items coming through from Morteus is that sweet spot. Now you've got the Zhonya's Hourglass completed on towards Miru, which makes him a little bit less of a dive target as well. And these are just small pickups for VKS. You are still very much in the lead. It is still an 11k gold lead. They should be fine, but it's just little hiccups here and there.
Dagda's a bit sus on it, ladies and gentlemen. I understand. Team Secret Wales is going to try and break the base with what they have left of the Baron, which is gone in 13 seconds. This is really the last wave to do so. In-hip turret mid stays standing quite strongly, and there is an Elder flip coming up in 5 minutes 30, okay? Now, you might say we're coping, but stranger things happen in League.
Well, I think it's either Baron or Elder, because realistically, like, Kai'Sa not great at getting up towards a tower to hit the thing, especially when you look towards, like, Jarvan and Rakan, these kind of things. So, at this stage, not having that Baron buff is a real issue for Team Secret Wales. As long as VKS take it slow, don't overextend outside their base, they should be fine to just farm up these creeps and wait until that one starts to arrive.
VKS seen on a ward here while they try to death rush. Team Secret Wales matching it. 3 members move up with Eddie in tow as well. The Kai'Sa that shreds someone, rips them apart. Hero by the wayside as well. And as Eddie reaches towards this mid-wave, 2 minutes 20, we wait for the Baron. I mean, it doesn't... It's a 12,000 gold lead with Infernal Soul. You know, it should be done. And it just feels like you see a lot of these games and you're like, yeah, it should just be ended. And Team Secret Wales are so good at advancing a lead, but sometimes their confidence can also be the death. I've seen enough of their games, and that is how I feel.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit of these hiccups as they start to move forward. Like, they are very good at team fighting and finding ways to get advantages, but when it comes towards macro and these kind of things, that is where they can struggle. And that was where a lot of people saw the advantage for GAM over this squad was, although Team Secret Wales get these advantages, and even when they played against CFO, it was how do you try and close out that game against a team that really understands how to move around the map. And for Team Secret Wales, it means they're now stuck here for a minute and a half until this Baron comes up. But once they have that reason to force a fight, I think that's where we'll see them pop off as far as, I don't know if you want to be here.
Isto is by himself, but he does have a GA. He can buy time for Taki to join in. And remember, Eddie can just fly. Also has a Seekers himself, and that'll be a Zhonya's soon. VKS are grouping up as 2, 3, 5 behind actually in total. Trimby gets tagged away. Eddie will not ulti in this time. Vault Breaker, maybe trying to prove me wrong. Bit of infernal damage is nice as we're back towards mid turret and Eddie gets a chance to step up.
It's just, it's so hard with the relatively short range composition to actually clear out the inhibitor turrets. So now, 45 seconds for Baron. It's more about Team Secret Wales keeping VKS off the map. So then you have to contest this blind. Then you have people that are very good at face checking these brushes with the Cassante and with the Jarvan, but you still have to just try and put that pressure on towards VKS so you can set yourself up for success.
Seconds on Baron. Good vision control here. Dyer bursts Trimby down to half HP. He's got time to get back. So does Samus as well. Dyer jumps back in. Wants to end it right here. The poke doesn't connect from Eddie in the meantime. A flag for Vision. A control ward to help out Team Secret Wales hold their line. Isto is just setting on a scrying ward. That'll be shrunk as well. And thank you very much, observers. The jungle is dark and full of whales. And with 5 seconds now, the Baron's going to spawn. And these mammals are going to kick it off.
Immediately going to start it. And disarm us.
Well, there maybe goes the steal.
Yeah, I thought Jarvan could maybe face check it, but that's a lot of damage.
He cannot face check it.
Yeah,
we have confirmed.
Yeah, the death book, or the death note even, in his back pocket makes him very, very scary with 14 stacks. So Baron now going to make it much easier for Team Secret Wales to try and set up. And unfortunately for VKS, the waves are not in a position where they can try and look for a similar pick as they did with the last part. Push.
So now this one has to do some work. 14k gold lead. Dagda, it would be crazy to get the fabled 20k gold lead as your defining opening game of Worlds 2025. So hell, show us how it's done. Teleport going to be burned. Team Secret Whales are going to start their siege on bot. Mid already taken care of by Hero. Dasama's just trying to get his own jungle, but even that seems too hard as Hisso walks into position, clears vision himself, and Dire's just holding the wave. They're trying to sync this up quite nicely so that waves crash in the same time.
And also, a minute now, well, minute 20 until that Elder Dragon, having the Baron buff that they can continuously shove in and then fall back to Elder is going to make it really difficult for VKS. I don't see a world where they're able to hold on to these towers, and then it's a Nexus defense against an Elder Dragon.
Flash in from Taki, set up with the Magnus Storm. Miro goes golden though. He's a little bit deeper now, the turret's gone. They've got nothing to lean back on. Between Worlds sets them up nicely as well, and the re-engage. Finally getting it done. We waited for 10 minutes for the LCP to smack LTA once more. And Dagda, they'll run through for the first win of Swiss stage to tie this up in a neat bow.
It was slow until it really wasn't as Team Secret Wales crashed down on the VKS and the hopes of the LTA cell.
LCP on the board first in a big way. Second seed, do it right. And Team Secret Wales